well, a guy would be walking and he'd trip and his catch himself. And somebody would say, "Hey, how was your trip?" And they'd just go, "What?" Yeah, see you next fall. And
Exactly.
the day was full of that stuff besides the heavy duty work and dangerous work.
You're watching the Spotlight Network, starring Hollywood's newsman, Logan Crawford.
They now believe a single member.
He works with TV and film legends. And now, Logan's shining the spotlight on the world's top emerging authors and creators.
International were abducted.
This is Spotlight with Logan Crawford, streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV.
I'm Logan Crawford, and right now we're having some fun and dropping wisdom with Retorts. It is a wonderful book written by a terrific author by the name of Len Tomaka. It is a book packed with sharp comebacks, witty remarks, and life lessons for every situation. Whether you're looking to break the ice, shut down negativity, or just laugh at life's curveballs, this book is your go-to survival guide for social situations. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today. We thank the team for helping us put him in the spotlight today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. Len, great to see you here today on Spotlight.
Thank you, sir.
What made you decide to write a book on comebacks and wisecracks?
The lifestyle that I had, my college diploma is a completion of a 5-year pipe fitter certificate with 597 in Chicago. And it was mainly work in heavy industrial with chemical plants, steel mills, rough stuff, sanitary districts, and heavy duty rough. And so I started as an apprentice, and then foreman, pipe fitter, foreman, project manager, estimator. So the range was very interesting for me. And all throughout it, whether I was in the field or in the office, the camaraderie of very heavy duty work, you kind of had the need to joke around a little bit. And so we had many men who took pride in being wise guys, and wise guys wisecrack kind of thing, get back. And I used to just say, boy, that's really special, that little saying. So we used to carry spiral little blue notebooks, which you flip over and take a note. And I would just say, guys say, well, a guy would be walking and he'd trip and his catch himself. And somebody would say, "Hey, how was your trip?" And they'd just go, "What?" Yeah, see you next fall. And
Exactly.
the day was full of that stuff besides the heavy duty work and dangerous work. So I just kept a collection. I had a cigar box, old cigar box.
Mm-hmm.
I just kept these slips, and when it would happen during the day, I would write a couple of words, and then I'd finalize it when I got home, meaning when I would retire, I'm going to write a book. I didn't have children, and so it would be kind of a legacy thing for me. And also to say I've been here, kind of thing. So when it turned out to be so wonderfully received, I just, through friends and people like you, that I'm just ecstatic about it. I didn't think it would come out at all like this. And it's just the pride in being, we used to joke, well, we build America, so, and there's a lot of pride in that too. And that was the lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So when I retired and started putting it together, I really got into it. I took these sheets of paper and spread them out on a table, which covered the whole table. And I found categories that, this is strictly, in fact, I have my cheat sheet here. There's 5 chapters in my book that cover different circumstances. Again, the life lessons. And one is well, I didn't have this prepared, but the first one is reality. And that's when a friend doesn't put enough enough effort in and is complaining about the result. You know, he didn't try hard enough.
Yeah.
And the retort would be, life is not a dress rehearsal, friend.
Yeah.
And so
Very true.
Reassurance is the second one. I marked that. Thank you for your patience.
Sure.
On reassurance, a friend is lamenting about a lost companion. You know, this is, it was times when I was young enough, dating and all that. And it always would be said, don't be sad, it's over. Be glad it happened. So,
Exactly.
and then so caution would be the three. And there is, I'm so proud of this. This is, if the cover, you see the cover.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's
I
awesome.
didn't
It's great.
physically, but I worked with the training and it was with caution. Well, anyway, I'm losing my mark here. I apologize. But
Oh, no worries. No worries.
Okay.
The artwork is terrific. That's for sure.
and then encouragement would be when a friend is encouraging. If a friend is not happy with petty items holding him up or her up from completing a task, he's swimming around. Hey, don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah.
Just get it done. Then lastly, my favorite, this is zingers, and that is retorts with zest. And this is when you like to zing somebody. And so I picked, I opened the page and here it is. When somebody rudely makes a point during a discussion with you and you're feeling angry, say, it was not what you said, it was how you said it. So
yeah, those are great. I think they really diffuse situations too. Like you say, it brings some levity, brings some humor into situations that could be, you know, awkward or sometimes even hostile. If you break it up with a laugh, I think it kind of like makes everything a little bit smoother.
absolutely.
Yeah. I think also when you work in one of those real male-dominated fields like pipe fitting or even us in journalism, I mean, when I was going through the ranks of journalists, it was all male photographers, male reporters, and you know, you start talking like boys and you start, you know, just making wisecracks like that all the time. It's just part of keeping your sanity, don't you think?
And also, if it was a job site or if you worked in a bank, I mean, there's people all over. There's people who you work with. There's people who you work and see every day but don't know to chat with. And, you know, elevator kind of conversation. Oh, how are you today? Because I've been seeing you for 10 years. And you say, oh, I'm fine. And then you split up. And then if the guy trips walking out of the elevator, you say,
Have a nice
hey,
fall.
how's your trip?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
it's been good. And my life was full of that. And luckily, it turned out to be a positive thing. And I'm just not known as, you know, Len's just a smart aleck or something. That's not the point at all.
No. It's all in good humor. It's all in good nature. It's all in good fun. I think to have like a fun, you know, life's boring if we're all serious all the time. You know what I mean? If somebody trips a little bit and you're like, are you okay? You know, it's okay to say, hey, have a nice trip. I think that's a good one, you know, without a doubt. And like you're saying, you know, before we started, you know, a hostess at a restaurant says to you, table for how many? And it's obviously just you and one other person to say, I don't know, I can't count that high either. You know, so you always could try something like that.
Let me make a note of that.
That's in volume 2. Are you
Yeah.
thinking about putting together another book? Tell us what's going on with your writing
I
career.
started it lately because as life goes on, there's a lot that I didn't put in the first book because it was too questionable. So I laid it all out and then I picked the purest of them. And so, yeah, it's in the works. Yes.
Yep. And you know, I'm looking at your career and it's such a very diverse career. You were in the Marine Corps, you're a pipe fitter, you're in franchising. I'd imagine a lot of these retorts and witty comebacks really came into play, especially I would think in the Marines, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. But you have to be careful in the service, though. That's somebody might pop you.
Yeah. You're dealing with another Marine, you
Hey,
know?
wake you up, pow.
Exactly. Have a
No.
nice trip. Well, I'll show you. Uh, Tell us about your experience in the Marine Corps. What was that like? How long were you in?
I I was in during Vietnam. This is the Marine Corps Reserve, 5 years,
Mhm.
and the threat of going to Vietnam was also over us. And the experience was we were in a field trip. Already, we were out of boot camp and advanced infantry training, and we were on in the field in the boonies doing a labor. And a jeep pulled up with a colonel in it, and he said to our troop handler, "You, I need a typist right now." And in any service, you don't volunteer. You want to be a shadow. You don't want to be known at all. And there
Exactly.
was something about it. And I said, I can type. And truthfully told, Vietnam was going on over there, and
Yeah.
it could be any day. We were training to go. So he took me there, and lo and behold, the workforce, and this turned out to be the comm center of Camp Lejeune. And this is big time. And
Yeah.
couldn't believe it. So we walked in and he showed me this. This was in the days of teletype. And
Mhm.
so I could use that. And we versed with teletype and typing from high school. And
Mhm.
so we did it just fine. And this is, if you walked in a certain room, the fella sitting there had orders to shoot you. You
Mm.
were just off limits. And it was so strict. So it turned out that I got along with people, and they're nice. I wasn't doing any of this writing down in there. And so it came to pass. I was very proud of that service because what we did, we would take a field. If you remember tales of the Seabees in World War II, it
Sure.
was a construction gang. And we would go and take over a field, level it off, and lay down these, I forget the names of them. They were about, maybe 6, 7 feet tall, and they snapped into one another. And that was the landing field. You had to carry them, snap them in, and go down the line. And we used to have, in 2 weeks, jets would be landing, touching down and taking off. It wasn't an airfield. We were in the boonies, and they would take off and go. And I was so proud of that because after we set that down, we set up the tents and we were the communications
Mhm.
for this. And we had, sorry guys, Marines, I forgot the radio relay. That's what it was. And
Right.
they go high to get on the highest point with antennas, and you transmit it to them, which they transmitted to the planes and wherever else. And so it was a very proudful situation.
Yeah. Amazing, amazing. Well, you've had a great career, a very varied career, and now you've got another career, another hat you're wearing, and that is author. And you wear it well because this book is terrific. It is called Retorts. It's more than a book of clever quips. It's a guide to navigating life with humor and wisdom. Len, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate your time, your wit, your wisdom, and your insight. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford. Thanking you for your time this time. Until next time.